Grok Bot promises a fleet of always-on agents that handle your ops while you sleep, but does it actually deliver? I ran it through 6 real workflow tests, kept a running scoreboard, and the one result that surprised me is the one that'll decide if this is worth $200 a month for you. Grok Bot is built for teams drowning in repetitive, multi-step ops, and the question is simple. Do the bots actually finish the job, or are you still the integration layer? Let's find out. Test 1. Multi-agent collaboration and handoffs. Right now, if you're running more than one AI tool, you're probably the one copy-pasting context between them, which is a real-time sync. One xAI engineer reportedly runs 10 to 20 agents automating about 90% of her routine through a single chief of staff bot. That's the benchmark. Can Grokbot actually coordinate a team of bots without you babysitting every handoff? I looked at community reports and here's what actually happened. Bots message each other asynchronously, handoffs show up in the transcript so you can audit the flow, and the orchestrator pattern works exactly as advertised. Agents scan each other's descriptions and forward tasks to whoever matches. The part that got me is that you can see the whole chain play out without manually stitching anything together. The bot-to-bot coordination I figured would be clunky genuinely wasn't. So Grokbot takes test 1 because the orchestrator and subagent pattern holds up with real audit trails. That puts Grokbot up 1-0 on the scoreboard, and the multi-agent piece is more polished than I thought it would be at launch. I've been living inside agent tools long enough to know when a handoff is real versus when it's just marketing copy dressed up as a workflow. Drop a comment if you've ever been burned by an agent that promised autonomous handoffs and then stalled the moment it hit a new app. Test 2. Cross-app workflow automation. The number I kept running into was 8 hours to build 12 working bots, covering Gmail, Slack, Calendar, and LinkedIn, all on a shared cloud computer that keeps running after you close your laptop. No manual file transfers, no restating context between apps. That's the claim, so let's see if the connector list actually holds up in practice. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Watch what happens when you point Grokbot at a multi-app ops workflow. It signs into Gmail, Sheets, Calendar, and Go high level, works across all of them, and keeps going after you close the app because it's running on a cloud instance, not your machine. One reviewer built 12 bots in about 8 hours and had them covering real ops tasks, which is pretty impressive for a beta product. Grokbot takes cross-app automation cleanly because a persistent cloud computer that holds your logins and keeps running without you is a real structural advantage, not a feature checkbox. That's 2 for Grokbot, 0 on the other side, and the connector coverage across Gmail, OneDrive, Teams, and Salesforce is wider than I anticipated for a product still in early access. Test 3. Browser control versus plugin logic. You probably already know that most of the tools your business actually uses don't have a clean API. Vendor portals, legacy dashboards, niche SaaS apps, they all resist automation. The question is whether Grokbot can reach those tools through browser control, or if you're stuck waiting for someone to build a connector. I had to run this one twice to believe it. Grokbot prefers a native connector where one exists and falls back to full browser control where it doesn't, and each bot gets a persistent cloud Linux machine with a browser, terminal, and file system baked in. So a bot logging into a vendor portal to pull invoices is the design behavior, which is a genuinely smart hybrid. Grokbot wins browser control because the connector first and browser fallback hybrid actually extends automation to the apps that always get left out. 3 for Grokbot, 0, and the persistent Linux environment per bot is the piece that caught me off guard. You're getting a full compute environment running in the background, not just browser clicks. Test 4. Learning user tone and communication style. Every AI assistant resets when you close the tab, right? You spend 10 minutes correcting the email draft, close it, And next session, it's back to generic corporate speak like nothing happened. The claim from xAI is that Grokbot's name bots remember your corrections and get sharper over time, so let's check if that actually holds across sessions. Name bots keep your preferences, files, and browser logins across turns, so when you correct a draft, that correction sticks the next time you ask for the same type of email. The vendor calls this getting sharper over time, and community reports back it up, though the depth of that memory is still tied to the bot's context window, not some external long-term store. Grok Bot takes learning user tone because persistent name bots that carry your preferences forward are genuinely more useful than starting from scratch every session. That's 4 for Grok Bot, 0, and what I didn't fully anticipate is that it holds logins and files too, not just tone preferences, so the bot is really acting more like a coworker than a chatbot. So Grok Bot has looked solid across 4 tests, but the next 2 are the ones that could actually change your answer, because approval workflows and real business task execution are where autonomous agents either earn your trust or break it completely. If the approval model has a hidden catch, that changes the math on whether you'd actually hand off anything consequential to this thing. Test 5, Approval Workflows and Task Delegation. The day an autonomous agent takes a consequential action you didn't fully review is the day you're explaining it to someone you'd rather not. xAI says bots finish jobs end to end and only come back when they need your sign-off. The question is whether that approval checkpoint actually protects you, or whether the work is already done by the time you see it. I looked at how the approval flow actually works, and here's the part that matters. An approval does not reverse work already completed, so if the bot has already drafted and queued something, clicking approve is a confirmation. Full stop. The safe pattern is preparation first, approval second, and you need to review drafts before the bot acts, not after. The audit view that would let you trace every step is still listed as coming soon. The approval workflow I thought would be a clean safety rail isn't fully there yet, so the limits on this one go to the approval workflow side, because irreversible completions and a missing audit view are real gaps for anyone handing off consequential work. That brings the score to Grok Bot 4, Approval Workflows 1, and this is the test that adds the most friction to trusting the system fully. Test 6, Real Business Task Execution, Invoicing, and Onboarding. Inside xAI itself, an ops bot reportedly seats new hires and processes invoices directly from Gmail. An engineering bot reproduces a bug, files the ticket, and hands the fix to a debugging bot, all without a human in the loop. That's not a demo workflow, that's a production claim, so let's see how it holds up. The invoice collector bot logs into vendor portals, downloads invoices, and the expense manager pulls receipts, codes expenses, and chases missing items, all with minimal oversight, which matches the vendor claims pretty closely. One reviewer trained a bot on adding product pages and said it performed well enough to justify keeping it running, which is a real signal that the business task execution isn't just a marketing slide. Grokbot takes real business tasks because the invoicing, onboarding, and bug reproduction workflows hold up with minimal oversight, and community reviewers back the vendor claims. That's 5 features verified for Grokbot, one with real limits, and the final score confirms what the title asked. Grokbot delivers on 5 of 6 features tested, with the approval workflow being the one you need to understand before you trust it with anything consequential. Grokbot is genuinely strong on multi-agent coordination. Bots hand off work and coordinate in group chats of up to 6 without you in the middle. The persistent cloud computer means cross-app automation actually works end-to-end, and browser control extends that to platforms with no clean API. Real ops tasks like invoicing and onboarding run with minimal oversight, which is the whole value proposition. Now, where Grokbot falls short, approval workflows don't reverse completed work, so you have to review drafts before the bot acts, not after. The audit view is still coming, which means full traceability isn't available yet. Token consumption runs high and there's no model picker, so you can't steer work to a cheaper model when the bill climbs, and at $200 a month, that's a real cost problem for high-volume use. If you have repetitive multi-step workflows eating hours every week, Grokbot is worth the $200 a month, full stop. But if you're a developer who needs to steer costs or control which model handles which task, the lack of a model picker is a deal breaker, and you'll hit the token ceiling faster than you expect. Nobody puts this in the docs. Hitting approve does not pause the task. It confirms whatever the bot already prepared. If the bot drafted and queued an email before surfacing the checkpoint, that email goes out on approval. So review the draft in the task view before you click, not after. because there's no undo at that point. If you want to run AI models locally without handing your data to any cloud service, the next video you want is LM Studio Review. Still the easiest local AI. It covers whether LM Studio is still the go-to for local model setup or whether something better has come along. And it's a pretty direct answer with no fluff. Links in the description.